Well, welcome back to the workshop today. It's a pretty exciting day. We've got some new tools arrived today, and thought I'd show them off as they came. This is the what's called the Turnado freehand metal turning system, and it consists of several parts. That's the base that fits on the cross slide of the lathe, and the heart of the system is this little tool holder here, which holds a little tool, and the idea is that you can use this to freehand basically machine curved surfaces as you would on a wood lathe. So but you know, with a lot more control than you would normally have. Now this is a beautiful piece of tooling. It's made of cast iron, and it's just gorgeous. The base looks like it's been lapped and is very smooth, and the way it holds the lathe tool is extremely clever. The tool is in this steel holder here, which is beautifully blued. All of the parts are just beautifully blued, and what you can do is you can use this Allen key threaded adjuster here. You can loosen that's the locking grub screw, and see what that does is it adjusts the height. But the tool itself sits in this tool holder at the corresponding angle. So what that means is that you can move that in and out without changing the height, but adjusting this grub screw will raise it up or lower it for fine control, which is absolutely brilliant. Really beautifully designed, incredible. That's such a clever idea. I love that. Now, of course, a big deal, you can machine stuff, right? But where this gets clever is the other attachments, which I'm cleverly hiding out of view. We'll go up a bit so we've got a bit better view. And yeah. So it comes with a couple of these pins, and you can put these pins in any of these holes like that, anywhere you want, and then you use this little arm here. Now what happens is you can thread this little arm into the base of the tool holder, and everything uses the same, pretty much everything uses this same size Allen key, and there you are. You've got a way of machining a curve like that, you see, and you can do an inside curve or an outside curve. You can either do it that way, or flip this round the other way. Just brilliant. And look how clever this is. That screw is retained by an E-clip there, so you won't lose it. Just brilliant. And it's all beautifully blued. It's all made of steel. I don't know how hard it is, so what I was showing there was, yeah, that's the external curve, and that's the concave, and that's the convex. So you can, and what you can do also, so that's for ball turning, which is great. There's another attachment here for large balls. So for large radius curves. So you can see that has its own pin, and it can fit like that, and you can. And for this one, the tool just fits onto that pin there, and you can machine like that, or you can flip this around and do it the other way, or like that if it fits under the work. But what's so ingenious about this, there's a few things about this that are just brilliant. One is it's got that play in there. Now you can adjust this. It's got a looks like a 40 threads per inch thread on there, so you've got very fine adjust, and you can easily, you know, move it to what close to whatever radius you want, and then tweak it in fine with that. Now that's great. You can machine things like that, but where it gets really clever is this thing here. Allows you to change that pin to put it off to the side like that. Where this becomes effective is if you're machining, say, a ball, and what tends to happen with most ball turners is you know, so like this one, when it comes to the end of the ball, the whole side of the tool is in the way, is pressing against the stock, and you can't cut off the ball. But because this is at an angle like that, you can effectively change the angle of the tool and just nip off the last part of the ball. So that's just brilliant, and again, just beautifully manufactured. Now I got all the attachments with this thing, so this is to be anywhere you want. Okay, so now I've got that facing pretty vertically, and now you can use this fence here as a template. You put one of these pins in here, and you can lock this in at any angle. Just beautiful. And if you cut a shape into a piece of brass, you can use this pointer to follow that shape, and put the tool on the top, and you can, you know, follow any shape with that. And what I need to do now is to make a fitting to connect that to the Myford, and adjust the height of these pillars so it's on centre height. And I'll do that now, and fit it up, and then we'll have a look at it in action. Here we are on the Super 7, and I think this is the best lathe to mount it on. I could fit it to my ML7 as well, but the advantage of this one is it's quite easy to remove. He says quite easy to remove the compound slide, and you'll see that it's got this round boss that fits into there. So what I need to do is to make another one of those. If I make a round boss on here, I can fit that on there, put it centrally like that, and then I can easily rotate it to any angle as necessary, and it's quick to remove and fit in perfect. So I just have to make some measurements, machine up a piece of steel, and drill some holes, and away we go. Alright, so here we are, we've got a suitable piece of steel there, and it's a bit big for this chuck, but it's always a bit dodgy when you've got that many teeth out, because you can break the last few on your jaws if you tighten up too much. So I'll just have a before we hit the side, otherwise now I reckon I squeeze that really hard. Okay, here we are in ML7, and I just moved the chuck across, and here we've got the DRO, so I've set the DRO on 0 right there, and what we know is that the depth of this thing is 0.563.
Right, so now we want to, that's where we're going to part off there, and we want to cut that over the handle. Please, please. Right, so.
60. Yep, that's going to work. Okay, after taking some careful measurements of the lathe and everything else, I've worked out that I need to remove 27.35 millimeters from the end of this. And nuts. Okay, so we finished shortening these spacer bars to the height that I measured on the Myford to make them the right height. They have to be shortened so that the table is 35 millimeters below the center line of the lathe. And now we just need to assemble it, and this is the boss that I've made that fits in where the normal top slide goes, and it fits on like that. And there's a cap screw that's countersunk into there, fits into there, and then that threads onto that spacer there in the middle. Like that. We won't tighten anything up too much yet. Do that at the end. Now these countersunk cap screws go into each of these spaces, and they have a little boss on the top, and that means that you can remove the top plate if you need to get to, if you had a lathe that you needed to bolt down from here, so you had an ML7 or another kind of lathe, you just take that screw out, lift the plate off, and you can get to those bolts very quickly, which is a very clever design. Those 4 screws in like that. Now the top plate, and you need to get the countersink sticking up. It goes in there, and that lines up with those 4 holes like that, and that's just one screw holds that in. Try not to cross thread it. Now we can tighten up all these. Okay, so here we are at the Super 7, which is looking suspiciously clean. And what we need to do is remove this compound slide or top slide, and there's two, in this case there's cap screws, sometimes they're square headed bolts, and you just loosen those and this comes out like that, and you can see that the boss there is the same as the one that I machined up on our plate. So put that nice and safe over here. Take our plate, make sure everything's nice and clean, make sure these little locator pins are back in the where they are, and I've got a little Allen key. That's pretty rigid, and we can just a bit of old magnesium, I think it is, in here. It's pretty soft stuff. Now you can machine by hand like this. See how we go. Take it very easy. There we go. Seems to be doing a nice cut. You can do any shape you want. This is quite tricky to do well. And I've found with some materials you can get a bit of chatter if you're not careful, but this seems to be going very well. I think it's a matter of having a nice sharp tool and a bit of experience, which I'm slowly learning. There we go, look at that, that's beautiful. So let's say we wanted to round over that corner. Just do that by hand. Now let's just face the front there, as is tradition, as they say. So say we wanted to cut a circle, what we do is we, first of all, we put that pin there. Now you just get a square, and if we line that up close to that, what we want to do, what I'm trying to do here is put that button directly over the centre line. Now there's probably a better way of doing this, but so far this is the way I've been doing it. Make sure it's in hard. Radius set there, push that out against that, tighten this up nice and tight. Now we should be able to cut ourselves a circle. You can pull that out, so you've got the ability to increase slowly your depth of cut, work up to full depth. Okay. That's pretty good, and then I can move my cross slide across like that, make a deeper cut. One thing that's important to notice is that I'm using a Collet Chuck here, and the Collet Chuck allows me to this table to get underneath that front, and also it's much safer. It's not going to hurt my hands. So it's a really good idea to have a Collet Chuck with this tool.
Alright, so let's finish off making that radius. Clean out some of this.
are fairly hot. Right in there. Load the tool bracket down a bit. So, one thing I can tell you for free is that you would not want to post a photo of something like that onto Reddit, unless you're very... You certainly would get some interesting comments, I'm sure, but you could see that there's many potential things that you could make, and many potential uses for those things. Now, other tools that come with the Turnado, which I need to go out for, is this, people seem to call it a Pantograph most often. It's not really, well, I guess it is a Pantograph. What this does is you can set it to any starting angle. But what we want it to do is to keep the tool perpendicular to the work. Now you can see, whichever way I go, there's going to be no rotation of the tool. Now to use this one, I have to take this off of this little base, and now it will fit. It'll fit on there, you see, like that. Now what you can do is you can put something like a template that you might cut a shape onto there, and you can follow that template. Now the way that works is that you get this other guide here, which you can fit absolutely anywhere you want. Like that. And it's got these lovely little screws there. So you have your curved shape. I mean, you can use it for straight if you want, whatever you want. Let's do it. Let's do a straight. We can use it, make a taper. Do that. Put a pin in there. Use this pin here. This pin just goes there, so that makes it very, very firm. Lock that in there. Of course, you've got control with the cross side. You see, so you can position anywhere you want. So that's the.
As creative as you want, really. Can't really see it.
Anyway, that's it. That's the Turnado. I'm very pleased with it. Again, not sponsored. That's the gentleman that makes it, Gary, and I hope you found it useful. see you next time.